Hi, so doing the voice kit, I had quite a few issues, but to start off with, building the actual voice box was pretty easy. It was pretty self-explanatory as long as you followed the directions. I did run into some problems when trying to actually get it connected to the Wi-Fi. Um, and so I did run into a few problems with that. At first I was trying to connect it to my laptop to see if I could possibly get it to run there, but the first problem that I ran into was I did not have an HDMI port or an adapter to connect a normal sized HDMI cord to the mini HDMI port that is on our voice box. And so I went around to a few different stores trying to find one, but unfortunately, it took me until my last store. I went to actually to Best Buy finally and could find one. And then so I bought one of those and came back to see if I could get it plugged into my laptop. But I do think that one of the issues that I ran into trying to get it to connect to my laptop was because I do not have a separate monitor, keyboard, and mouse to be able to connect it all into the voice box at once. So I think that was one of the reasons why I couldn't at first get it even connected. Also, when I was trying to do it on my laptop, I couldn't get the pop-up, like the AIY um, desktop to come up to even get it to connect or have any of those options. So then I started thinking that maybe I could reach out to some people and see if they have an Android phone or a PC. But unfortunately, Android phones are kind of more difficult to find people who have one because iPhones are a little bit more common. And so I reached out to my neighbor and I walked over to my neighbor's house, and they have a PC with a separate monitor, keyboard, and mouse. And so I started setting up everything, and then realized that I did not have a hub for many different USBs. And so I went and bought one of those, and finally got one. And so then I got everything plugged in. After following all the directions, I got everything plugged in, and it took me a long time to actually get the screen, the AIY project screen to come up. And I think that was probably just because maybe some like trial and errors. So I was just kind of unplugging it and turning it off and back on and restarting everything. And finally, I did get it to come up. Um, but after that, I was running into some issues with trying to get the keyboard and the mouse to connect to the voice box. And unfortunately, that is where I ran into the issue of not even being able to connect it at all to the keyboard or the mouse. And that is where I ended up leaving off, and I'm kind of upset about it, um, because I tried looking at any options that I could to try to get it to connect. I researched or looked up YouTube videos. I went on a bunch of different websites, the AIY website as well, to try to figure out what tips they had to offer to try to get it to work. And I did all of that. I made sure that all of the plugins were in the correct spot, and the data port, power, USB, or the HDMI port, everything. I made sure that I had all the additional supplies that I needed and went out and bought them. And I still could not have an end result of a working voice kit. But I do hope to see it through. Hopefully, I can get some more suggestions on how to be able to get it to connect. But at this point, I do not have one. But I would like to, even no matter what the grade I get on this assignment, I still would like to see it through, because I really want to finish it and be able to see what it's going to look like and how it's going to be when I finally finish it. Um, but I do think that it was a really, really good learning experience, and I thought this assignment was fun. Although it was challenging, I did have a good time trying to figure it out, and putting everything together and researching how it works and all of that. So I do think that this was a very, very good learning experience. Um, I even had my friend who is a engineer major. She is in her master's program right now, and I had her come over to see if she could help me figure it out. But I don't know if that's quite in her expertise. So, but I do think that it was pretty cool to do, and but uh, discussing whether or how it would work in a work environment for major. I work for a home building company, and I do not think that we do anything with any sort of artificial intelligence like a voice box. And so I do think that it would be really, really useful to possible customers that we have to be able to just ask it a question about our company and be able to get it answered, which I think would be really, really useful to them, and hopefully bring in more customers if they can find out a little bit more information about us before coming in, or maybe even some possible more information that maybe we did not talk to them about using an artificial intelligence such as a voice box. Or I know a lot of people use like the Amazon Alexa or Siri, for example. I do think that this could even go further in the future with developing a little bit more and going a little bit more into depth with the answers that it provides. But I do think that this was a really, really cool assignment, and I hope to be able to actually finish my voice box one day. But yeah.